And welcome to Rauta's long-awaited opinion video about the very topic I was already dreaming when I was traveling in Vietnam. Today's stuff is actually something that kinda made me smile, groan, frown upon, and shake my head when I was traveling. I was reading the news about Taake, their US tour, Antifa getting things stirred up, King Dude parting ways with Taake because of these allegations, Nazi stuff and all that stuff. And I was just, waiting for, get back home, get my camera rolling and tell you why I was so amused by the story. Luckily enough, I couldn't do it in time because it was just yesterday when I read about the whole story that Taake is cancelling the whole tour to United States, which was supposed to last for a couple of weeks. So, before we start, I need a drink because this stuff is making me thirsty as hell, because it's so ridiculous. It should both amuse me and annoy me, and it certainly does. Now, those of you who don't know the story, I'm gonna try to explain it briefly. I'm not very famous for being a brief person, but here is my poor attempt at that. Now, basically what happened was that Taake played a show some 15 years ago in Germany, it seems, with a swastika logo painted on their chest. At least that's the picture I saw. Some claim it was a piece of jewelry or poster or whatever, but the thing is, there were swastika and they were playing Germany, which most people know is a bad combo. Now, in the age of internet, obviously every people should, basically realize, at least if you have any common sense, that these are type of things that will, and are at least most likely will backfire at you. And doing swastika is generally a bad idea unless you are a provocative right-wing activist and you just don't care. But for any other kind of people, it's usually a bad idea to, have it shown in a show, in a gig, or just any place. But in Germany, it's a kind of a double bad because, doing kind of a Nazi greetings there, raising your hand in a certain way, which should remind people of 1940s, is a punishable crime, at least to my knowledge. If I'm outdated by that, sorry for misinformation, you can pretty much check it out. But what I'm saying is here that you shouldn't do that unless you are just giving a rat's ass about it. But that's what Taake did, and now it's the payback time, and this stuff is getting hilarious media circus for so many reasons. First of all, I'm not politically inclined person. I don't care about right wing, I don't care about left wing, I don't care about shit about any wings. That's my stance here, so don't get me fooled into your whatever just because I don't have long hair anymore and I might be talking about things this and that. But the thing is, what I find this kind of hilarious, that the basic line is, this is making black metal dangerous again. Now the thing is that because Taake had these kind of swastika things on their chest or whatever, there were gigs going to be arranged in different part of the United States when Antifa stepped in to kind of do threats and spreading information about these so-called Nazi allegations, and that kind of made clubs to cancel those gigs because of these Nazi allegations. Now the whole thing is basically were made around this one certain picture of the band. There were no kind of any other proof to be about Taake being any kind of politically inclined stuff, and they have totally declined it with their official statement. You can read it on Facebook unless that's been deleted, and if it is, you can probably Google it up, because probably some person at some location in the world has taken screen cap of that long wall of text. I read it myself, and I can pretty much believe the guys. I mean, Norwegian bands can sometimes be so how to put it, nationalist type of, or at least national romantic type of thing. They can have these Norwegian flags, and be so goddamn super into Norway without actually being, kind of a nationalist type of people. What would happen in some other countries? For example, you cannot basically wrap around yourself with a Finnish flag and just, go with it. People would right along label you as a, I don't know, right-wing person or a patriotic thing if you do that. But Norway just, either they don't care, or the political climate is different there. So in that sense, there is no basis for call Taake a Nazi band or right-wing band or anything like that. But since they had this chest painted swastika or whatever, there were basically, grounds for this kind of a backfire event to happen. Now, if they were just being called out, being this kind of band, I don't think that would have been leading anywhere, and those gigs would have, just played out, and everything would be as normal again. But as it is, Antifa, it seems, made threats and kind of started this kind of a media circus that these gigs should be, canceling these Taake gigs, because otherwise they would face consequences. And now, private club owners don't want to get into trouble. They just want to organize gigs for people to come and see the show, have some drinks, and everybody would go home more or less happy. But little did Taake know, some 15 years prior to this event, they probably had forgotten the whole stuff already. That's my guess anyway. And they wouldn't kind of have to believe that this kind of stuff would be happening. Now, when these first allegations were kind of tossed in, this whole little thing kind of began to circulate in metal medias. Some were more neutral, some were more like, you should have known, I told ya, kind of like a patronizing way. And some probably judged. I don't know, I don't read every metal publication there is. I just don't have the time or interest. And it's beyond my scope of anything to, just care about what these other metal media say. But the general feeling was that, well, some do it kind of a neutral way of saying, okay, Taake got into trouble because of the picture. Some would be like, kind of a judge, which I then again understand. We live this kind of a safe space time. We live this that nobody should tolerate nothing kind of a phase. Everybody is offended by something. And obviously having Nazi symbols or symbols related to Nazism, not to mention Buddhism, by the way, they are things that are very fueled up, kind of. You just like, it's like a bonfire where you would just pour gasoline and everything would just go boom. Now, the thing is that when King Dude, which was supposed to tour with Taake, they kind of, retreated, and suddenly they were talking about peace and love and Luciferianism and blah, blah, blah. They made it look really ridiculous. At least what I saw circulating in Facebook on some pages with metal-related people, they would like totally judge King Dude being a coward or a douchebag because, he would be the first to kind of betray his touring companions. Now, I kind of understand that decision by King Dude, but then again, it also made him, or that band, look really ridiculous. I mean, like, it seemed like he wanted to save his ass, or the band's ass, and not in a good way. I mean, like, totally, it's fine if he doesn't, I mean, the man behind the band, if the band doesn't, approve what Taake is, doing or whatever, that is kind of fine. But the way it was handled was like poor peer stuff. They could have just, gone away. But now they kind of already got this label, being hanging out with the right-wing guys and saying just, I'm apologizing here, like, I didn't know, I'm apologizing, don't shoot me, I didn't know these guys were like that. It doesn't go like that. Once you're partnering ways with somebody, then unpartnering your stuff, it doesn't save you, it just makes you look ridiculous. So you're already on the same boat, just sink with it or try to act cool while sinking and drowning. Now, when it comes to Taake, And I made a kind of a joking post on a metal-related Facebook group in Finnish. I kind of said that in hindsight, I kind of feel like even though Taake probably made a mistake, I don't know if they did, I don't care really. But even if they did, they're kind of winning in this situation. Should the tour have continued, they would have gotten this kind of a notorious reputation for being this kind of a badass band and gotten some weird respect from people. Then again, if this happened, what did actually happen after my post, that the whole tour got cancelled, they kind of got the sympathizers from the scene, you know, like, man, I don't care what you do or what you do. I know that you got basically, public execution for doing something as little as that. And whatever, I mean, little or big, the thing is that they now got lots of sympathizer. And also, like I said, it's making let's make black metal dangerous again. Church burnings happened so long time ago. Nobody barely even remembers. Nobody hardly remembers, those death threats or some violent stuff that happened back in the 90s, be it by guys in Dissection, Emperor, or Burzum, or whatever. They're just like, water under the bridge. So basically nothing dangerous happens again in the terms of black metal. It's being more and more kind of acceptable genre of music. Now I'm kind of undecided whether that is a good or a bad thing. It's kind of a bad thing in the sense that, black metal is getting diluted. It's just easy to say, yeah, I worship Satan. I, belong to the Church of Satan. I worship Satan. I eat kids for breakfast. Nobody gives a damn thing. It's just, yeah, it's funny music. I'm a vegan. I do, CrossFit and pick flowers and all that stuff, but I also like Burzum. It's like that. It's kind of a safe space music. But if somebody has upside down cross, nobody gives a damn. If there is like anti-Islam thing, oh, then suddenly it's bad. If there is a Nazism symbol, suddenly it's bad. So why people are wondering how so many NSBM bands, that is National Socialist black metal bands, started to bloom, during 2000 and whatever. Well, there's one of the reasons. It's one of those bad things that will still provoke people. Of course, there are people who are actually honest with their right-wing stuff. They are not the kind of people who are unapologetic what they do. They are proud nationalist guys or girls or whatever. So they are not getting hurt. They don't give a shit about Antifa, and even if they do, they just kind of get fueled by the very same actions that they are doing as their counterpart Antifa is doing. So, I mean, like, the thing is, this kind of a really small war, if you can use that kind of a sense. I mean, war is a little bit exaggerating considering people don't usually die because of that. But, some bands, for sure, are just, making these kind of a badass things out of sheer provocation. You might shoot me for my opinion, but I'm pretty sure it is like that. And even if people are like extreme left or extreme right or extreme whatever, most people still, want to pay their bills, get their job done, raise their family, or, play on PlayStation or Xbox or watch TV, read a book or whatever. It's just like most people are not that, inherent evil or bad. Surely there are douchebags and assholes all around the world, no matter what color, or culture or music genre that is all about. But the thing is, this is the kind of genre that it kind of was, born out of, rebellion, be the Satan kind of a symbol of rebellion or not. The thing is, there are people who are provoking, and when that provocation hits their target, be it Antifa calling the shots for, club owners or whatever, that is exactly what is happening. So, in that sense, Taake basically won, even if they had to cancel their US tour and lose money on merchandise or tickets or whatever. But I don't know. I'm decided whether this is a good thing or bad thing. Like I said, it's kind of a good thing for the whole scene. Everything is a little bit stirred up right now, and it kind of proves that nobody forgets anything on internet. Be it 20 years old photo, it still comes back up. It's not so many years ago when I found the scan of an old black metal sign. I think it was Mortis, he used to play in black metal bands prior to having this Mortis career. And there was some Aryan thoughts and, Nazi symbols and racist comments on it. Would somebody remember it this day? I don't know. I do. I just don't care because, well, I don't care. But the thing is, when something like this happens, it always stirs up the stuff. And people on both sides get really upset and they get defending these things. Some people, like I said, they are sympathizing what Taake did and what happened to them. So they probably actually got a lot of new fans. Probably that kind of raised even their underground value, so to speak. That is, now their merchandise is probably even more valuable. Now their albums are more valuable, and probably the sales go a little bit up. And seeing Taake live is now even more important than it was before. So like I said, their value is getting up. Now these haters or these who are pro left or pro Antifa or whatever, I don't think it would change anything. I mean, like, they can now be, heard in their safe spaces and all that stuff. But then again, they were not the kind of people black metal was kind of created in the first place. So who loses here? The club owners. Probably the roughly honest people trying to, just get their job done, pay the bills so they can go home and, live their ordinary life. Too bad they just happened to pick the wrong genre to have gigs with. So let's hope their lives won't be ruined because of cancelled Taake trip. Probably not, it's not that big a band anyway. But it's kind of nice to see that metal, especially black metal, is a little bit of dangerous again. Now we have a little bit of new stuff to talk about and be so upset about and roll our eyes and all that stuff. So I kind of like this what happened. Too bad for Taake, but like I said, there is a silver lining in all of that stuff. I don't know, what do you think? Was the Taake rightfully, publicly executed with no chance of defending like what actually happened? Did the right thing happen in your opinion? Or was this just a good example how kind of a Antifa type of loosely organized group of people can just dictate how things are? Is this right or is it wrong? Is anarchy the answer to all the questions? What do you think? I don't know. I'll just salute to all people who actually watched this video and looking forward to hear your opinion. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so far and drop your comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as things are ready for that. See you next time and stay metal.